excessive use of force by the police while enforcing the dusk to dawn curfew last night and called for immediate action to be taken on those found guilty. Victor Kiprop reports on the violence and brutality that greeted the first day of the curfew, even as the country entered the second day of an overnight curfew in order to curb the spread of the coronavirus in the country.
A few hours after Kenya entered only its second nationwide dusk to dawn curfew since independence, tens of Kenyans were nursing serious injuries from the violence meted upon them, ironically by the very same people who swore to protect them.
What we witnessed last night was totally unnecessary. Curfew measures were outlined, and yes, the public knows that by 7 p.m. they ought to have been in their houses. But we are facing situations that are beyond normal citizens. So for the police to really react the way they did, for us that's excessive use of force and it is unacceptable.
I would want to appeal that they approach it with a humane face and hand, because they too are our congregants, they too have children, they too have brothers and sisters.
It is extremely important at this time that Kenyan law and the international human rights standards are respected, not just in Kenya but all over the world. The police bear a responsibility and a duty to maintain public order, but also to enforce the law, but they can only use force when strictly necessary.
From journalists in their line of work, ordinary Kenyans heading home, to even defenseless women trying to cross the ocean using the ferry, the police forgot that the enemy was an invisible, highly contagious virus and went on a rampage, tear-gassing, beating and assaulting innocent civilians, in most cases defeating the sole purpose of the curfew.
In all this situation, we are supposed to be adhering to the Ministry of Health guidelines on social distancing. So when you force Kenyans to queue back to back, already we are staring at a very critical situation where probably the spread of the virus is taking place.
We also need to be concerned for the police officers that were involved in the operation yesterday. Very few of them, I don't think I saw more than 2 or 3 that had masks. None of them had gloves. Many of them were actually touching people.
The Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, says it is investigating the matter.
We have also engaged with the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Interior and Coordination of National Government, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, who reiterated the importance of ensuring that the police oversight continues to protect Kenyans from police officers who flout the law.
Before Kenya begins enforcing a dusk to dawn curfew for the second day in order to curb the spread of coronavirus in the country, many Kenyans are already rushing to beat the 7 p.m. deadline. But given the brutality witnessed in the enforcement of the curfew yesterday, many are in fear of what is in store for those who will not be home by the time darkness falls. Victor Kiprop, NTV.